Students, welcome to the live virtual classes that we are conducting for the students of September examinations. Now, till today, we had almost completed the 4 units of your 10 units schedule, and today our faculty Tisha Singhal will be completing the market structure module, because this market structure module is very important because it carries a weightage of 15%, which is which is more than 10% usually allotted for each unit. Business cycle definitely has a weightage of 5%, and the first unit, that is introduction, is carrying a weight of 5%. So you need to be very clear about what type of market is there, what are the important characteristics of market, how the demand curve, how the equilibrium conditions in these market is working. You have to remember that. And because generally questions on the slopes of the curve is been asked, now you have been given different characteristics, and you have been asked to identify which market is this. So accordingly, there is a chart in our study module which differentiate different type of market structure. So focus on that. And initially in the classes, earlier also we had repeatedly reminding you that keep on revising the thing. We are giving you all the tips, all the tricks to study the subjects. Apart from this, we are making you understand all the concepts that is been given in your study material. Now, our study material is more than sufficient, so don't look for more and more. Concentrate on this study material, which is very exhaustive, and for foundation student, it is completely that you can, if you study this module, you can easily pass your exam. That is not a problem at all. So don't look for other material that is available. If you keep reading our material, keep revising our material, and whatever the tips and whatever the concept that has been explained in our classes, if you focus on that, if you try to remember the thing, if you keep on revising the thing, if you study from our module, then definitely it will be a great value addition for you people. So I think till now we had almost covered the 4 units of the total course material that is for business economics at the foundation level. So Risha will be completing today the market structure, and after that she'll be taking unit on business cycle. So over to you, Tisha. I think it was great that you have taught the student in a right manner that is required at the foundation level, and under your guidance and the student practice and revision, they will do great in the examinations. Over to you, Tisha.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon to all dear students. Yes. I hope that the class that we had last time, you must be very much aware of the different kind of market forms that we have already discussed, how the whole pricing thing is going to take place, how the price determination takes place. That was very much clear in all the other the previous classes that we have done. So first thing that I would like today is this, that let's have a two-way communication, because we have almost covered all the topics of the market form in the previous class. So because generally what we do is this, we take the doubt session in the last 15-20 minutes of the class. Today, why not revise it together? Okay, why not revise the whole topic together so that it becomes easy? Okay, first thing. Second thing is this, that I don't want a repetitive student coming for. Do not think that ma'am क्या कहेंगी या बाकी लोग क्या कहेंगे. Correct? In the previous classes also, I always made sure that if you revise it back at home once and then you try to again discuss with me, you get that 100% commitment that, okay, I know this topic. So right now also I give you easy 4 to 5 minutes. So to flip on the page of the first part, and then we will go forth. Okay. So what I want right now is this, that all of you just see how the whole market form chapter is, and then we can discuss it right away. Okay. So I want all of you to first open your notes and understand only the unit one, that is the meaning and types of market. Fast, please. Meaning and types of market. I give you 4 to 5 minutes and then we will revise about it. The meaning and the types of market that we have, and then I will move further. So today class, I'm going to take it a quick recap of the complete gist of the different market forms. Okay. So I give you 4 to 5 minutes and then I want a two-way communication that takes place. Okay.
The students should be clear about the shape of the demand curve and the cost curve that has been there itself, because there are a lot of questions that has been asked in the examination regarding that. Like in monopoly, in perfect competition, how the shape of the demand curve or the cost curve that has been there itself, because at the equilibrium point, they had to make the distinctions, or generally the questions is been asked, although shapes is been already been taught in the cost and cost part. So they need to be clear about that. So I think when you are making the revision,
Yes.
focus on that also, because that
Perfect.
is important.
Yes. So Abhinandan, Anushka, Devendra, Garv, Mihir, Natasha, Prerna, Shravika, and Sri Satunya, Akhi. I want all of you to revise the whole topic with me right away. Okay. So let's first start with the meaning and types of market. And I would appreciate if you put it in the chat box. Okay. If there's anything that you don't understand, put it in the chat box. If there's any doubt that you have, put it in the chat box. Okay. So first we will start about meaning and types of market. So first thing that we need to understand is how the price are determined. And if we see how the price are determined, first thing I should know is what is market, how the markets behave, how the prices are determined, what are the different kinds of market, and how do we work. First, we need to understand that market is that area wherein a two party, that is a buyer and a seller, they meet together, they decide how the price is going to be, and then they find out how the quantity is going to be determined with respect to the demand and supply of that product. Now, gone are those days where I used to go physically to the market and buy it. Please understand, my parlance or the general language of market has now extended even to the virtual segment. This is wherein the big players like Amazon, Flipkart, etc. plays the role. And why even discuss about that? Nowadays, even if you go to the Paswala Parchuni ka shop, the Paswala departmental store, the nearby departmental store where your mom or dad goes for the grocery shopping, you would say that even he would mention that please don't come to the shop. You just put it on the WhatsApp. We will sell it to you. So that is what the whole market is. Okay. Now, the first thing is this, that it is going to be a place wherein both the parties, that is buyer and seller, meet. They have a particular good to be sold or a service to be given, and there is a price attached to it. There is a consideration attached to it, and this is how the whole scenario works. Okay. Now, when I talk about the buyer and seller, the elements of the market, we have a buyer and we have a seller. We have a substance market, a matter, that is a product or a service. Then we negotiate about the price. We should have the knowledge about the market condition, how the market is behaving, what that particular price of the product is at that particular given time. So that is to be done. Then we talk about the classification of market. In the classification of market, we have the geographical area. In the geographical area, we have the local market. You go to the nearby shop, buy it. Regional market, like for example, if in Jaipur, The Rajasthani print is very famous, very popular. Then we have the national market, like for example, when we talk about India, the gemstones are very famous, the sari is very famous, the Hindi books are very famous, etc. Then we have the international market where we talk about those particular products which are very much famous internationally. So primarily, if I see, the base of every industry comes out to be gold, silver, petroleum, crude oil, etc. Now, on the basis of time period, there are three kinds of, primarily we bifurcate it into three, but otherwise if we detailed bifurcation, four kinds of market, that is very short period, long period, and very long period. So when I say very short period market, that's something which is very perishable. You give it today or do not, if you consume it, it is going to go bad. Okay, so that is one thing. Second is short period market, wherein the output may be increased by increasing the employment of the variable factors. How do we deal with that? Long term is that tenure wherein don't bother. We can still change or alter the scale of production. And the last one is the very long period, which is the secular period, wherein I can change the factors of production, I can change the supply, I can change the raw material supply. Okay, so that is about the basis of time. Third is the basis of nature of transaction. So when I talk about the nature of transaction, there are primarily two kinds of market. If I tell Anushka today, Anushka, I want to buy a clothing from you. Anushka says, ma'am, come to my shop, buy a t-shirt, give me 100 rupees today itself. That will be a spot market or that will be a cash market. Today itself, pay the money, get rid of it. But when I go to Shravika's shop and I say that, Shravika, I want a gold necklace, please make it for me. Shravika says, ma'am, okay, it will take 15 days. I said, fair enough. Shravika, you take the money in advance from me and please book today's gold price. Why? Because before coming to Shravika's shop, I watched CNBC, and in CNBC, I heard this, that after 15 days, the gold prices are going to go up more high. So the future market or the forward market wherein the contract is going to take place either today's date but will be recognized after 15 days or vice versa. That means I take the jewelry order today and I say that, okay, Shravika, you make the gold rate according to 15 days on the date of the picking up the order. She says, fair enough. I will charge you then. Shravika is also intelligent. She knows that the gold rate is going to go high tomorrow. That's on after 15 days. She says, okay, I will take the amount then. So this is how the whole transaction takes place. That is what is the spot market or the future or the forward market. Okay. After that, we have the basis of regulated market. Now, what is regulated market? See, the best part about our economic subject is this. I don't remember a student amongst you all. Abhinandan, I think, Abhinandan asked me how to, ma'am, how to learn it. Am I correct, Abhinandan? Were it you or somebody else? Some of the students asked me, ma'am, how do I learn economics? Now I don't need to learn economics only. With the name of regulated market or unregulated market, it should strike my brain. And how does it strike my brain? Regulated market. Something which is regulated, something which is organized. So you go and deal with a stock exchange. Nowadays, the government is becoming very strict. SEBI is becoming very strict. They say that no, I will not let the cheating companies extract the money from the public who have their hard-earned money. So it falls in a regulated market. Okay. But let's say you go to the weekly market and there's this guy who sells the gold coin, etc., doing smuggling and giving it to you. And then you go to the court saying that he cheated me. Court would say, were you in the regulated market? No, you weren't. So that's your problem. Correct. So there are two kinds of markets that are lying. That's the regulated market. There's an unregulated market. Regulated market is the one wherein everything is regulated, everything is systematic, everything is organized. Whereas I talk about the unregulated market is a free market, no stipulation, no problem, nothing as such. Okay. Let's talk about the volume of business. Again, in the volume of business, we have two kinds of market. There's a wholesale market, there's a retail market. I'm sure everybody knows it. When you buy a good in a bulk, to be resold to the customers or to the retailers, that would go under the wholesale market. But when I say I buy a particular product and I sell it directly to the consumer in a very short quantity, that would be taken as the retail market. Now, I would like to ask you all, any doubt up till here, please? Anybody's got any doubt up till here? Shri Satunya, Anushka, any doubt up till here? Good afternoon to all. Anybody's got any doubt? Aisha, Prerna, Vishakha, Mihir, Natasha, the ones who have joined a little late. Everybody's got everything clear, Hemant. Okay, can I get a thumbs up, please? If it's everything is clear, can I get a thumbs up maybe? Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead with that. Now, next comes on the basis of competition. How does that take place on the basis of competition? So on the basis of competition, we have primarily two kinds: perfectly competitive and imperfectly competitive market. For perfectly competitive market and imperfectly competitive market, imperfectly again gets bifurcated into various: monopoly, monopolistic, oligopoly, etc. Okay. So now if I talk about types of market structure, in the types of market structure, first thing that we need to understand, what is a perfect competition. So perfect competition is that market form wherein we have many sellers selling identical products to many buyers. That means many sellers, many buyers, and selling the same kind of product. Second is monopolistic competition. In the monopolistic competition, the best example I generally take is the soap industry. And how does that work? So in the soap industry, what happens is this: there are different kind of soaps which are available, different kind of features, characteristics that they have. Okay. So that is a monopolistic competition. Okay. So there are many buyers and even many sellers. And the plus point is this, that all those sellers are selling differentiated products. Okay. The third one is the monopoly. In the monopoly, what happens is this, that I am the only seller. You all are buyers. You have to abide by what I say. The best example is Indian Railways. There's no substitute to it. Oligopoly, many buyers, few sellers, and those few sellers hold the complete chunk of the market. That means, for example, if I talk about oligopoly, in the oligopoly, what happens is this, that we have, let's say, 10 sellers, telecom industries, Airtel, Jio, etc., and then they sell it. Okay. So this is the kind of major types of market that we have. Okay. Now, next, let's talk about the concept of total revenue, average revenue, and marginal revenue. Is there any doubt up till here, the types of market? Any doubt? See, you should have the understanding of what the different kinds of market is, which is very important before I start anything. So please, if there's any doubt up till here, please ask me right away. Yes? Okay. Next is concept of total revenue. As we all know already, there are three kinds of revenue that we talk about. And when we talk about three kinds of revenue, 1 second, we primarily have price and quantity in our concepts. Price is the value for which I sell the product. Quantity is the number of items that I sell. Okay. So when we have a price and quantity, when you multiply these price and quantity, you get the total revenue. So for example, I bought 10 t-shirts from Anushka at the rate of 5 rupees each. It would come out to be 50 rupees. That's the total revenue. Okay. Now Anushka says, ma'am, what's the average revenue that I earn? I said, Anushka, you divided by the quantity that you have sold. So 50 divided by 10. Your average revenue is nothing but the price, which is rupees 5. Okay. Now Anushka says, ma'am, when I sell 10 t-shirt, I sell you at 50 rupees. When I sell 11 t-shirt, I sell it at 55 rupees. That one extra t-shirt that I've sold, I get 5 rupees extra. And that 5 rupees extra that I earn is what is known as the marginal revenue. Is it clear up till here? So we have total revenue, we have average revenue, and we have a marginal revenue. I hope this is clear. Now, the remarkable factor is this, that the total revenue starts from zero. Why does it start from zero? Anybody? Anybody can put it in the chat box. Why does TR starts from zero? Anybody who would like to share why does TR starts from zero? Yes, Hemant? Because Devinder says that when you are selling zero quantity, then obviously TR is going to be zero. Very true. Okay. So when the total revenue is zero, why? Because the quantity sold is also zero. Next, let's talk about AR. AR curve is going to be what the price curve is. So at least in the perfect competition, it is going to be straight line parallel to x-axis. And why is that? Because even in perfect competition, we assume that the price of the good is absolutely constant. That means if I'm selling 1 unit at 10 rupees, if I sell 10 units at 10 rupees, if I sell 100 units at 10 rupees, if I sell 10,000 units still at 10 rupees. So this is how the whole average revenue model works. Third is marginal revenue. What is that marginal revenue? That is the additional revenue, like I said, that gets earned with the extra unit that you sell. So this is how the whole TR, AR, and MR works. Okay. Now, after this TR, AR, and MR works, let's look at this diagram. I will zoom it for you. Look at this diagram wherein the AR and MR both are falling. Why? Because please understand, as a customer, when will you buy more goods? You will start buying more goods only and only when you reduce the prices. So if you want to reduce the price, then only the customer will buy more products. So if you want to sell more quantity, the price will go down. Second thing is this, that the TR curve also starts increasing, reaches maximum, and it starts falling. And the major reason again here is this, that the prices are eventually going down. And because the consumer wants to get lured to buy more product, it is the price which is to be reduced. Even the MR is falling and way below than the average revenue curve. But please understand that the TR is maximum at wherein the MR is zero, wherein the additional revenue that you generate is going to be zero. Okay, so this is how the whole concept of TR, AR, and MR curve takes place. Now, what about the AR and MR in the perfect competition market? So as you remember, perfect competition market is that market form where things are hypothetical. When I say things are hypothetical, that means all the things that we have are absolutely something which are fictitious. If these are the things which are something which are kind of fictitious, so in that case, the whole concept of average revenue and market revenue comes out to be straight line parallel to x-axis, which predominantly says that whatever the case is, price is going to be constant, average revenue is going to be constant, and the marginal revenue is going to be constant. Okay. Next, let's get forth with the relationship between AR, MR, TR, and the price elasticity of demand. So before that, again, I would say that before you understand this topic, you should be very much thorough with what is elasticity. So can anybody amongst you tell me what is elasticity? Can you raise your hands, please? Whosoever wants to talk about it. What is elasticity of demand? Anybody who would like to say what is elasticity of demand? Come on, raise your hands. Vishakha. Okay. Ashok sir, can we please unmute Vishakha for a minute? Yes,
Ma'am,
Vishakha.
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, the elasticity of demand is the range.
Okay. One example, please.
Ma'am, like medicine. Medicine is quite inelastic. Like
Okay.
the demand.
Why?
Because it is needed when, ma'am, like,
It is a necessity. You could say it's
yes,
a necessity, correct?
necessity, yes, ma'am.
Okay. What else?
And ma'am, it can be a trend.
Okay. Okay. So if it's something which is very much into vogue, which is into fashion, it will be
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much reminded. Very good, Vishaka. Very good. I hope everybody is recollected about how the elasticity of demand takes place. I will review it for you. Elasticity of demand primarily says that normally I have been hearing this fact and I've been telling this fact that when the price increases, demand falls. When the price falls, demand increases. Fair enough? Now the question comes that I am knowing this fact that price increases, demand decreases, price decreases, demand increases. Fair enough. But how much? How the reaction will take place, how the behavior will take place, all those things. So for that, the whole concept of price elasticity of demand works. And in price elasticity of demand, that simply says that there depends the nature of the product. So if it is a something which is a necessity, if the product is necessity, whatever the reason is, still the product will be demanded. So the elasticity will not be much. But if the product is something which is not necessity and I can, kind of postpone its consumption. If I can postpone its consumption, so even if there's a increase or decrease in the product, I'll be like, okay, no problem. I will not change my consumption. Okay. So in that scenario, I would merge that topic of elasticity with the average revenue and marginal revenue, and let's bring it forth for you. So if you remember in elasticity, we also learned a topic that was the geometric elasticity, and the geometric elasticity curve of demand curve. It says you extend the demand curve to meet the x-axis, y-axis. At any point wherein you want to understand what's the elasticity, you put the point, it will divide the whole thing into two segments. One was the lower segment, another was the what? Upper segment. So let's say if I talk about point number C, the lower segment is CD, the upper segment is BD, for example. I'll take this as YD. Okay. YC is the upper segment, lower segment is CX. So lower segment upon the upper segment. What's the lower segment? That's the CX. What's the upper segment? That's the YC. So lower segment upon the upper segment, and you find out the elasticity. So in that case, both the segments are equal to 1. They're equal. So elasticity is going to be equivalent to 1. So now when elasticity is equal to 1, MR is going to be AR into the elasticity, which is equal to 1. So please understand at the different levels, 1 minus 1 upon 1, that's 0. So there's this formula wherein you can determine how the MR and AR are related to the elasticity of the demand. I hope this is clear to everybody. Can I get a yes or no on it, please? Can I get a yes or no on that, please? Okay, perfect.
Can be derivation also explain?
Hemant, one request, please. You can always raise your hand, okay, first thing, and then I will allow. Yeah, Hemant, please tell me.
Ma'am, the formula we use AR is equal E minus E upon E.
Yeah.
मैम इसका डेरिवेशन भी होता है क्या?
See, I will tell you one thing, simple. Let's talk about the point wherein E is equal to 1. E is equal to 1, that means elasticity equal to 1. That means if 10% increases in price is going to be, there will be a 10% decrease in demand, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Now, when elasticity is equal to 1, what will be the extra revenue that you generate? You will not generate extra revenue. Why? Because you said, I am indifferent. You do whatever you want. If you are increasing the price by 10%, the demand will also fall by 10%, correct? So in
Yes.
that case, my additional revenue is going to be 0.
Yes.
If additional revenue is going to be 0, it will come equal to this. Marginal revenue is equal to 0.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Let's proceed further. And again, a request to all the students. No problem. It was good, a very good question that Hemant asked. You can always put it in the chat box. many a times there are certain queries which I would like to take it only at the last. Okay. Still no problem. You feel free to ask question. Hemant, you really asked a very good question. Okay. Next is behavioral principle. What is behavioral principle? Behavioral principle is how are you going to behave? How will you work? Now, logically understand one thing. I'm doing a business. And when I'm doing a business, I badly get into losses. Do you think I should continue my business? Put it in the chat box, yes or no. Should I continue my business?
No, ma'am.
We should not. Hemant, please unmute yourself. So, you will not continue the business until and unless you have this fundamental that I am earning profits. Now, also understand, we have 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So when you determine the cost, tell me one thing. When you determine the cost, that okay, what should be the cost of my product? I'm like, for example, Anushka is making a t-shirt, and the t-shirt that she's producing, we have 4 things: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So in land, we give them rent. In labor, we give them wages. In capital, we give them interest. In entrepreneurship, we give them profit. Now the query comes, ma'am, when I determine the cost should be part of all the factors. That means rent plus wages plus interest. You are hesitant to even charge your normal profit, but please understand, this is the part of the normal cost. So, will you not be interested to earn the normal profit at least? You should earn it, correct? So, please understand, whenever we talk about this concept of the whenever we talk about this whole concept of how the behavioral principle is going to take place, we need to figure out that whenever we are calculating it, we are even considering the normal profits in it. Okay. So please understand the behavioral principle. In the principle 1, it says that a firm should not produce at all if its variable costs are not met. That means first thing that we need to understand is this, that at least the variable cost should be covered. Okay. The second principle says that, one second, please. The second principle says that you should work, like for example, I am teaching class from here and I have to take this place on rental basis. I will anticipate this rental charge to take place only how much I require. So whenever we talk about principle, your variable cost should be there to earn at least the normal profit or the zero economic profit. Okay. So if price is that way, you have to clearly understand that it should have at least the normal profit. And when the business is going to be very happy, the businessman is going to be very happy, the businesswoman is going to be very happy when they earn a profit which is positive profit. And what is positive profit? That's a super normal profit. And what is a super normal profit? Abnormal profit, extraordinary profit. So in the market, all the t-shirt sellers are earning 10% ROI. But I am earning 15% ROI. Why? Because I'm giving a customized t-shirt. Why do you think that the boutiques, etc., they charge so much? Why is Manoj Malhotra or Sabyasachi charging so much? Because they're offering that quality of customization. H&M is selling a t-shirt, Zara is selling a t-shirt, but they will sell at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. But Sabyasachi, the moment you go to them, Manish Malhotra, you go to them, any other big shot, you go to them, they will sell a t-shirt which is worth 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. Why so? Because therein a customization is there. Okay. Next, principle number 2. The firm will be making maximum profit by expanding output to the level wherein the MR is equal to MC. Very true. And this is wherein my equilibrium position is going to strike, where MR is equal to MC. That means the additional revenue that I generate should at least cover the additional cost. If it is not there, how will I earn profit? My additional cost should be absolutely covered by the additional revenue I earn. Okay. So the equilibrium situation is going to take place wherein my marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. And there's one point to attach to it, that the MC should cut MR from below. That we already have discussed, and we will discuss it once again. So if I talk about the summary, first, economic goods are scarce in relation to the demand and have an opportunity cost. Second, there's always a money value for the product. Third, there's an exchange value of the product. Fourth, market is that area where we have both buyer and sellers selling, negotiating about the price. There are different elements of it, that's buyer, seller, product, price, etc. How the markets are classified, product market, factor market, how the whole thing takes place, the nature of commodities, size of production, extent of demand, etc. And all these things are something that we have already discussed. On the basis of area, we have local, regional, national, international. On the basis of time, we have very short, long, very long period. Nature of transaction, we have spot market, today itself, forward market, future market, tomorrow date, regulation, regulated, unregulated, classified, wholesale, retail, and this is how it takes place. Is it clear to everybody? Is this whole topic clear to everybody? Yes or no? Akhi, Abhinandan, Akbar Ali, Anushka, Aisha, Devendra, Garv, Hemant, Khushi, Mahalakshmi, Mihir, Natasha, Prerna, Shravika, Tanvi, Vishakha, Zainab, Sri Sahotya. It's clear to everybody. देखिए मैं कई बार नाम इसलिए रिपीट करती हूँ जिससे नाम आते क्या होता है, हम जग जाते हैं, है ना, नींद भी आ रही होती है तो जग जाते हैं, करेक्ट? ठीक है? Is it clear to everybody? Perfect. Okay. So next we will start with the second topic. But before starting the second topic, let's take a 10 minutes break here only, and then we will complete the second unit and third unit at a stretch. Okay. So Ashok sir, we would like to have a 10 minutes break at 11:20 at sharp after 10 minutes we will meet. First topic is clear to everybody. Can I get it in the chat box if we can move further? A thumbs up if we can move further, please. Okay, perfect. Let's next start with the determination of prices. Now, how do I set the price? I know I want to sell a product. There is a consumer who's ready to pay the price. But what price should I set? In a very normal parlance, if we understand, um, if you go to the market and there's something which is very popular, let's say you want to go to watch the IPL matches and you want to go to the stadium and watch it. So, if let's say it's a very brilliant match that is going to take place and the obviously the area of the stadium is fixed. Let's say if it has a seating of about 2500 people, so it is going to be 2500. At the end, what happens is this, that the prices start soaring high. Correct? Why? Because the supply is constant but the demand for that particular product is very high. Okay, so same ways when we talk about determination of prices is wherein we have interaction between a lot of demand and supply, and we determine how the price is going to be figured out. So a point wherein the demand and supply curve intersects with each other, that's known as the equilibrium point. And that equilibrium point gives us the equilibrium price or the equilibrium quantity, wherein we find out how that particular price is to be determined, what should be the quantity that should be demanded, what should be the quantity that should be supplied, and this is how the determination of price takes place. Okay, so whenever we talk about this concept, look at this diagram. We have the demand curve, we have the supply curve. The point wherein the demand and supply intersects is known as the equilibrium point. This is the equilibrium quantity, and this is what is known as the equilibrium price. Okay. So the determination of this equilibrium price takes place wherein the whole calculation is divided. Okay. Now then, when this whole equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity is determined, there comes the question that whether there will be a shortage of supply products or a surplus of product. Okay. So when there is a shortage or surplus of the product, how it deals. So for example, when there is a great hike in lower price than what the equilibrium price is. For example, the equilibrium price is 10 rupees. Understand it. Equilibrium price is equal to rupees 10. And the new price wherein you are quoting is rupees 5. If that is the scenario, this 5 rupees, if it is lesser than 10 rupees, that is the equilibrium price. That means, yes, you are ready to buy more. So the demand is going to go high. Okay. If I talk about the supply concept, how it takes place for supply. In supply, what happens is this, when the product is priced at more than what the equilibrium price is, then what will happen? The product, if it is priced more than what the equilibrium price is, there is going to be a surplus of product. So this is surplus of product. This is the shortage of product. And these are the two things which is because of either excess supply. This is because of the excess demand. Okay. So this is what we have learned while we determine the prices. Now, let's also understand how the demand and supply is going to get determined when there are multiple kind of changes, either in demand or in supply, or else both of them are changing. Okay. So let's say I will show you one diagram and then I would like you to draw the other diagram. When there's an increase in demand, see how it works. So let's say, for example, this is your original curve. This is your quantity. This is your price. This is your supply. This is your demand. And equilibrium point, equilibrium quantity, and equilibrium price. Okay. Now what happened is this. Let's say, for example, they say there's an increase in demand. So if there's an increase in demand, we will shift to a new demand curve, D1, D1. Okay, please don't think that how it is, changing. Let me draw it properly. This is your new demand curve. This is your D dash, D dash. This is your new equilibrium point, E dash. This is your new equilibrium quantity, Q dash. And this is your new equilibrium price, P dash. If that is the scenario, what is happening? The equilibrium point is shifting. The equilibrium quantity is increasing. The equilibrium price is increasing. So can I say if the demand increases, supply remaining same, thus the price and quantity both increases. Okay? I hope it is clear to everybody. Yes or no? Yes or no? Next, can I get a diagram of decrease in demand? Fast, please. Made by you. I want a diagram which is made by you all, wherein you are going to first draw demand and supply, equilibrium point, and let's say if this demand shifts lesser, that means this demand curve shifts to the left side. How it will work? Come on. I want the conclusion. Fast, please. Yes. Anybody who was able to do that? Okay. Anushka says when demand decreases, quantity and price both decreases. Okay, let's have a look at this diagram. Like Anushka said, when the demand decreases, look at this. The quantity also decreased and the price also decreased. Very good, Anushka. Give me another case wherein the demand remains same. There's an increase in supply. Come on, fast. Demand remaining same, increase in supply. Come on, fast, please. Yes. G. So let's say, for example, if there is a increase in supply, okay, the product supply increases. So what will happen to the price? Come on. Sri has said when supply increases, the quantity demanded will go up and the equilibrium price will decrease. The quantity increase, the price decrease. Aisha says increase in supply, decrease in price. Prerna says decrease in price, increase in quantity. Perfect. So when you do that for the supply, what is happening? Look at this. Supply is increasing, the quantity is increasing, and the price is going down. Maybe the example could be better technology. Okay. Next question. What happens if the demand and supply are same? Oh, so the demand is same, the supply decreases. How will we do that? Decrease in supply. Come on. Decrease in supply. Come on. So that decrease in supply is because primarily due to the obsolete technology. So if the technology is bad, the supply will go down. And if the supply go down, the price increases and the quantity reduces. Okay. Next, let's talk about simultaneous change in demand and supply. If there's a simultaneous change in demand and supply, what happens is this, that both demand and supply are intersecting. And when both the supply and demand are intersecting, how do we find out the equilibrium price? Okay. So let's see. Look at this way. This is your demand. This is your supply. Equilibrium. You have the quantity, you have the price. Okay. Now let's say if they say that the demand also increases equally and the supply also increases equally, how are you going to work? So if there's an increase in demand and increase in supply at the equal level, that means 10% increase in demand and 10% increase in supply, the E will come to a new point even. And please understand that when it shifts to even, why? Because there's an increase in the quantity, etc. So there's an increase in quantity. But because the demand increase is backed up by the supply increase, the prices doesn't shift. आपने बोला कि जी 10 टिकट बढ़ा दो और मैंने 10 सीटें बढ़ा दी स्टेडियम की, तो प्राइस पे क्यों इफेक्ट आएगा? नहीं आएगा ना इफेक्ट. वही चीज यहां पर हुआ, बिकॉज द डिमांड increase was backed up by supply increase, the price remains stable. मार्केट में भी तो यही होता है. अगर आपकी प्राइसेस सेम है, इट विल नॉट, इफ द डिमांड एंड सप्लाई इज चेंज नो सेम, इट विल नॉट इफेक्ट. So I want you to do the diagram wherein the demand increases by 20% and supply increases by 5%. One case. And case 3 also I want wherein the supply is increasing by 30%, but the demand increases by 10%. I want these two cases. Come on, fast. Case 3 and case 2. Fast, please. If there's a decrease in supply, which causes increase in price and decrease in quantity. Okay. And decrease in supply, price increases, quantity decrease. Good. Okay, perfect. Case 2, equilibrium price will decrease. Case 3, equilibrium price will decrease. Okay. Yes. Okay, perfect. Easy for everybody to understand. Clear to everybody. Now, there's one example that I did it even in the last class, but I want you to do it now also. That is, what will happen if initially the demand curve is D1, D1, S1. The demand and supply curve is initially D1 and S1. Okay. So the equilibrium point is going to be E1. Okay. Now let's say if there's a new demand curve, there's a new supply curve. Okay. What will happen if we assume that the X is a normal good, holding everything constant? Assumably the income rises. See, the questions are going to be like this only. Now, when I increase the income, my brain should start work. Will that impact demand or will that impact supply? So my question says, if it is an income rise, the demand will get affected. And the demand gets affected into two types. Again, what are those two types? One is normal good, another is inferior good. So in normal good, when the demand increases, why? Because the income increases. But in the inferior good, if your income increases, I am a rich person now. Why would I use bad product? So if I am not going to use the bad product, then automatically what will happen? The demand will decline. They say that, okay, never mind. This is how I'm going to deal. Okay. So whenever we talk about illustration, this kinds, you have to understand, you need to learn how to read between the lines. Come on, you are giving a competitive examination, which is not going to be a straight line question. Come on, that you should understand. Okay, so you should know how my logic is going to be utilized. Okay, so let's say if there's something like the complement goods demand is going to rise, then how the price is going to get affected, how the supplement goods is going to work, how it is going to work, and this is how we will discuss about. Okay, so second question, when you analyze the market for good Z, the price of a complement good Y declines. At the same time, there is a technological advance in the production of good Z. So if there's a technological advancement in the production of good Z, what will happen? See, the moment a technological advancement takes place, that means there is a good impact from the supplier. So what will happen? The supply will go manifold. Okay. Next is if heavy rains are there, that's like a calamity that is going to take place. And due to calamity, you will not stop eating rice. No, only thing that might happen is this, that your demand for rice will change. Okay, so heavy rains in Maharashtra caused havoc with the rice crop. That means my supply will change. Now, if the supply changes, you can find out what the impact on demand and supply is going to be. Okay, let's summarize this chapter fast. Price of good is express their exchange value. Second, if it is an open competitive market, it is basically an intersection between demand and supply. Third, if the equilibrium price or the market clearing price is the price wherein the quantity is demanded equals the quantity supplied, so there will be no unsold stock, no unsupplied demand. Okay. Next, equilibrium is said to be stable wherein it will automatically adjust itself. So if there's a price movement, it will eliminate all the shortages or the surplus. So if there's a demand increase without the increase in supply, there will be an increase in the equilibrium price. You have to understand that. And we have done a lot of cases. If demand decreases without change in supply, how it will impact. If there's an increase in supply without any change in demand, how it will impact. Okay. If there's a simultaneous increase in the demand and supply both, how it will change, how the proportionately scenario is going to change. All these things. When both demand and supply decreasing, the equilibrium quantity will change. All of these are going to be impacted by the simultaneous movement of both demand and supply. So is there any doubt up till here? Your bottom line should be, you should be very much thorough with the topics. You should be very much thorough that how the demand is getting impacted, how the supply is getting impacted, because those two chapters combined will be determined here in the price determination. So you need to understand how the price determination is going to take place. If a particular factor takes place, like a havoc in the environment, etc., etc., this is how the whole scenario is going to take place. Okay. So I hope it is clear up till here. Can I get a thumbs up? Can I get a thumbs up if I can move forward? Yes? All of you, fast. Okay. Aman says yes. Anushka says yes. What about the rest? Aisha says yes. Okay, so I presume that it's a yes by all of you. Okay, perfect. Let's do the final topic, that is the price output determination under the different market forms. So, okay, before I start this, I want one volunteer to explain me what is perfect competition in the gist. Second volunteer for monopoly, third for monopolistic, fourth for oligopoly. So first, who would volunteer for perfect competition? Please raise your hands. A gist about what is perfect competition, please raise your hands. Okay, anybody else besides Anushka, Natasha, who else? Okay. So, Anushka, we will talk about perfect competition. Ashok sir, can you please unmute the students for a while? Okay. Anushka, please go ahead with the perfect competition.
Ma'am, perfect competition is that market in which there are large number of sellers and buyers of homogeneous product to many buyers.
What do you mean by homogeneous product, dear?
What, ma'am?
Homogeneous product का क्या मतलब होता है?
Homogeneous product like same product which are same product.
Okay. Anything else, Natasha, you would like to add to the perfect competition? Natasha, आप इसमें कुछ add कर? Okay. Anybody who would like to volunteer for monopoly? Anushka and Natasha, you can put your hands down. Anybody who would like to volunteer, please raise your hands for monopoly. Come on, students. ये one way communication अच्छा नहीं लगता. It should be a discussion. Yes, Aman. What is monopoly?
Ma'am, monopoly is the market where there is single seller and large number of buyers.
Okay, give me one example.
Like railway, atomic
Okay.
energy.
Okay, Shri, do you want to add some point, some feature of monopoly? One very important feature of monopoly.
Closed entry, ma'am.
Sorry.
Closed entry.
Okay, Shri. Besides closed entry, anything else?
No close substitution.
One more point, very important, very, very important.
Market power.
Price discrimination.
Very good, Shri. Market power, price discrimination. I can charge 100 rupees fees from Shri, but I can charge 200 rupees free from Aman. Why? Because it's my own whims and fancies. I'm the only one in the market. Correct? Clear? Third, Shri and Aman, you can put your hands down. Third, any volunteer for monopolistic? Shri, can you put your hand down? Anybody for monopolistic? Come on. Any person else? Any other person? For monopolistic? Yes, Aisha?
There are large number of buyers and sellers and
Okay.
freedom for entry and exit.
Okay, give me an example of monopolistic.
Advertising.
Dear, example of monopolistic.
I'm not getting it right now.
Soap industry. Soap and shampoo
Yes,
industry
yes,
can be an example of monopolistic.
yes.
Okay. And dear, advertisement is a tool how they work. Advertisement is a tool how the monopolistic work. Okay. Any
Okay.
person who's okay, thanks, Aisha. Any person other than Aisha who can volunteer for oligopoly. Aisha, yeah, mute it, please. Oligopoly. Very good students. The rest of the other students also, I would encourage them. Please try to come forward. Yes, Satish. Oligopoly.
Oligopoly, many sellers and many buyers, ma'am.
Okay, many sellers and many buyers. Are you sure?
Sorry. Few sellers and many buyers, ma'am.
Few sellers and many buyers. Very good.
Example, telephone company.
Telecom company. What else? Any other feature? Do they require small investment? Do they require large investors? Can I go with 20 lakh rupees and start a telecom industry?
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Huge investment. What else?
Oh,
How do the telecom industries compete with each other?
sorry, ma'am.
Uh, Yeah. Yes.
I do not get answer, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay. So they say that the market form um, wherein the market form is primarily where they compete on the basis of prices, price war, etc. That would be covered under the oligopoly market form. Okay. So in this chapter, we will discuss about the different kind of market forms and how the price output is determined under the different market. Okay. But before I start teaching the price determination, we will first at length understand what are the various features of price output. Okay. So the first thing that we need to understand is the what is perfect competition. So perfect competition is that market form wherein there are many buyers, there are many sellers, they sell all differentiated products. Oh, sorry, they all homogeneous product, absolutely identical, absolutely same. The firm is free to enter the market. The firm is free to go out of the market. They can do freedom of entry and exit. Okay. The best part is this: they know that there's a perfect knowledge of the market. Okay, when there's a perfect knowledge of the market, that means they know about the product. Also, they have a very low transaction cost. When I say there is a very low transaction cost, what does that mean? The low transaction cost means that they don't have to spend much on the information on finding each other or entering into transactions. Okay, they basically are price taker. They have to accept whatever the price is being set by the market. Okay, so the first example that we need to understand about the perfect competition is this, that it actually really do not exist, uh, kind of. However, we can say that, the perfect competition, the best example could be gold silver. Why? Because it's absolutely identical. If I'm selling gold for 60,000 per 10 grams, everybody will sell at 60,000 per 10 gram. Also, if it is a crude form, if it's in a raw form, the moment I put it in a branded form, let's say Tanishq sells it for some other rate, Zoya sells it from some other rate, Kalyan Jewel sells it for other rates. Why? Because the brand value changes. Okay, but if it's a raw form, it is going to be same. Okay. Now, how does the price determination under the perfect competition takes place? So please understand, under perfect competition, you should be first knowing this fact there are two concepts. One is your firm, another is industry. So let's say, for example, if I am talking about a business, and they are deciding some kind of price, etc., that will be known as the firm. But when all the firms come together, it will be known as the industry. Okay, so whenever I talk about equilibrium of the industry is wherein the demand and supply intersects, the equilibrium is achieved, and that equilibrium gives you the equilibrium price and the equilibrium output. Now understand, just 5 minutes before I told you that all the companies are selling same product. So let industry determine what the price should be, and I as a firm is going to just take away that price. So the industry is the price maker and the firm is the price taker. Okay, so that is how the equilibrium of the firm and the industry takes place. So look at this. The demand supply intersects, equilibrium point is there, equilibrium price is here, equilibrium quantity is here. The price which is determined is the equilibrium demand. And that equilibrium point is giving you the average revenue, the marginal revenue, and the price. Okay. Next is let's talk about the conditions of equilibrium. When we talk about the conditions of the equilibrium firm, you have to understand there are two things attached to it. First is MR is equal to MC, wherein the marginal revenue should be equal to price, marginal cost. When I say marginal revenue should be equal to marginal cost, that says that all of them are going to be absolutely static. If there is always an incentive that yes, if they additionally add some more products, then the revenue is going to increase. But in a normal scenario, the MR should be equivalent to MC. First thing. Second thing is this, wherein the MC should cut MR from below. When the MC should cut MR from below, you have to understand that how. If, let's say, look at this diagram, if it is falling here at the point T, there is still scope that MC will fall down. So the firm says that, okay, I want to do more. But the moment when the MC rises, that means that is the stage wherein I cannot move further ahead with that. If I cannot move further ahead with that, what you need to understand, if I go above point R, my marginal cost is more than revenue. If my cost is more than revenue, this area I'll get into losses. So the ideal situation wherein I can work is going to be point number R. I hope this is clear to everybody. I hope this short-term profit maximization of MR and MC is clear to everybody. Can I get a yes or no to it, please? Yes? Anybody who's got any doubt? Okay, perfect. Prerna has said yes, ma'am. Shri Anushka has said yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm moving further with this. Now, when we talk about the short-run supply curve, we also discussed the same thing in the last class also. Look at this point wherein we have the different demand curves, D1, D2, D3, D4. This is the marginal cost curve, MC. Okay. And when we intersect it, we get a different point equilibrium. And those equilibrium point when we join, this is nothing but the supply curve. So when we say that of marginal cost and the demand curves helps us to determine the equilibrium point, and it tells us what is the supply of that particular product. So we can find out how the supply is determined for that particular product, which gives us the different kind of quantity and how it was determined. Now the question arises, can a firm earn profit? So we need to understand that. See, there's always a difference between normal profit and supernormal profit. So when I talk about normal profit is just a simple thing wherein I'm earning what the portion of my cost is. Wherein if I talk about supernormal profit is that part where I'm earning extraordinary more than what the normal rate of return is. So for example, if I say there's a 10% return, okay, if there's a 10% return attached to it, let's say for example, if you are earning 15% in the market, you are earning more than the normal profit. That 5% extra is what is the supernormal. Okay, so whenever we talk about an organization, something which is over and above what the normal profit is, that is what is known as the supernormal profit. Okay, so if you look at the organizations, especially when we talk about monopoly and monopolistic, they can earn. But in a normal profit, normal perfect competition market, we cannot ever earn supernormal profit. Why? Because obviously, therein you are selling almost everybody's selling the same product. How can you rise your prices or margin? Correct? Wherein you, if you are earning just average total cost, when your firm is getting equivalent to what your average revenue is, that is what is known as the normal profit. So if AR is equal to ATC, that's the normal profit. But if it is more than that, that will be known as the super normal profit, which is over and above. But what about the losses? Like I said, the losses is the situation wherein your average cost is greater than your average revenue. So look at this. If your average total cost is greater than the average revenue, this will be given as the area of loss. Okay, so losses are those area wherein your cost is greater than the revenue. Okay, clear up till here? Anybody's got any doubt up till here? Yes, can I get it in the chat box? Any doubt up till here? So let's do one question. Tasty Burger is a small kiosk selling burgers and a price taker, and is a price taker. The table below provides the data of Tasty Burger output and cost in rupees. Other details have been given. What is the total variable cost? What is the average fixed cost? So and so, etc. So see, in the question, I think the quantity was given and the total cost was given. Let me see. Quantity was given. Yeah, perfect. And the total cost was given. Okay. Here. This is your Q. This is your TC. Now, please understand. If this data is given, this data is given. Just look at this. At the zero quantity also, 100 rupees cost is incurred. What kind of cost is there even at the zero output? What is that category of cost called as even at the zero level of output? I said अगर इस क्लास के लिए एक भी बच्चा नहीं आता तो भी मुझे 500 रुपए रेंट देना पड़ता, तो that 500 rupees is my fixed cost. So can I say this 100 rupees is fixed cost? Correct? So I will write fixed cost everywhere, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100 up till here. Okay? What is variable cost? मेरे को एक चीज याद है that the total cost is equal to FC plus VC. So VC is nothing but TC minus FC. So variable cost is TC minus fixed cost. So 100 minus 100, that's 0. 100 minus 210, 110. 100 minus 300, 200. So this is how I have computed the variable cost. That's TC minus FC. Then I have to calculate average variable cost. How do I calculate average variable cost? Average variable cost is variable cost divided by quantity. Okay, so average variable cost is variable cost divided by quantity. What is average fixed cost? Average fixed cost is fixed cost divided by quantity. So my fixed cost is 100, 100, 100 divided by quantity. What is marginal cost? Marginal cost is delta total cost, that is TCN minus TCN minus 1. So if TCN is, let's say for example, 210 divided by 100 minus 100. So that means this is TCN minus TCN minus 1. But please understand, this is just 110, but the change in quantity is 10 units. So it is going to be computed delta TC upon delta Q. How did I get that? 210 minus 110 minus 100, sorry, divided by 10 minus 0. So 210 minus 100 is 110 divided by 10. So my MC is going to be 11. Clear? Yes or no? Come on, yes or no? Okay, perfect. So this is how we solve the numerical. Now then they ask, what is the total variable cost when 60 burgers are produced? So once you make this table, What is the TVC when 60 burgers are produced? So when 60 burgers are produced, my TVC is 960. Finish. Okay. What is the AFC when 20 burgers are produced? 20 units. AFC is going to be this. My answer is this. So this is how you're going to find the solution to the question. I hope you have got a hint that how the questions are going to be, how it is going to be asked. Clear to everybody? Now, when we talk about a long run equilibrium of a competitive firm, so please understand, in a perfectly competitive market, in the long run, you will always and always have normal profit. Now, there's a logic behind it. And what is that logic behind it? Because there's a freedom of entry and exit, people will run. I am into business, I will run. 10 other businessmen looking at me that I'm earning profit, they will also run. They will realize that it does not matter. It does not matter. People are free to move, entry, exit. In the long run, everybody is going to earn a normal profit only. You cannot have anything besides that. Why? Because the demand and supply is absolutely open. The mobility is absolutely open. The perfect knowledge of the market is absolutely open. So there will be no challenge as yet. Okay. Is it clear to everybody? Yes or no? But in the industry also, because there is no firm has an incentive either to entry or exit, because they all are earning normal profit. So they'll say, how does it matter? In long run, they will basically lead to the optimum allocation of resources. Optimum lead of allocation of resources, that means we will try to produce the output at the minimum cost. Consumer should basically be ready to pay at least to cover up their marginal cost. Try to maximize the utilization of your machines, your power, your plant, etc., so that there is no wastage of resource. Try to earn only normal profit. Try to maximize the profit. If there's an optimum number of firms in the industry, how you going to work? So this is basically how the perfect competition market takes place. Okay. Next, let's talk about monopoly firm. What is monopoly? Monopoly. What is mono? Mono means single. When there is a single seller of the product, nobody else in the market can sell that particular product. That's known as the monopoly. The best example is railways. There's an extreme amount of barrier to an entry. I cannot just enter and do any kind of a, allow the other people to enter without even asking. There is no close substitute of the product. The monopoly has a full control over that product. Market power, I have the power to charge price which is above the marginal cost. And that is what is the basic feature of monopoly. That's the price discrimination. Can anybody tell me what is the price discrimination? Price discrimination is wherein for the same service or for the same product, I'm charging two different prices from two different customers. Am I correct? Yes or no? Come on, people. You cannot even say yes or no. Put it in the chat box. Good. Now, the question arises, how does the monopoly take place? I have a strategic control over that particular resource, it's mine. I have patented it. I have copyrighted it. I have a control over the product. I can exclusively sell that product. I have the large startup cost. There's a natural monopoly which accrues only to me. There's an enormous amount of goodwill, strict rules, strict legal, strict regulatory requirement. There's some kind of anti-competitive practices. Okay, all these things which is there to capture the market. And when I capture the market, I am called as the monopoly. Now, when I talk about a monopolistic revenue curve, just a moment before I said that I have the full control over the market. I can charge a discriminatory price also. The question arises that in the whole consumer base that you have, there could be a chance that, let's say, for example, you are saying I am free to set any price that I want. Okay. Let's say you charge exorbitantly high. Do you think the consumers would come to you? No. They will not come to you. They will say, okay, bye-bye. So despite of whatever the powerful person you are, because you are the sole business person in the organization, in the whole industry, but still your AR curve, yeah, that is your price curve will always be falling downwards. And what does that fall downward says? Abhinandan, what does that downward falling price curve or AR curve says? That says that you better, if you want to increase the demand, you lower down your price. And because the AR is falling automatically, the MR is also falling, and rather it is falling fastly as compared to the MR. So this is the scenario wherein you have a quantity, you have AR, you have TR, and you have MR. And this is how the whole analysis takes place. Okay. Now, please understand, in a monopolistic firm, the monopoly equilibrium arises wherein the MR is equal to MC. So if that is the scenario, the monopolist is making the profits or losses in the short run. We need to introduce how the average total cost curve takes place. So when MC cuts MR at E, we have to understand that yes, they are working in scenario. But please understand, it's never always that, they earn only profits. They can incur losses also. And this is why they behave properly. They say that, okay, despite of being the monopoly, I will not do everything according to my whims and fancies. Customer will say, okay, get lost. We are not coming to you. We will take other substitute. We will not travel by train. We'll take a bus. No problem. But we will not be ready to pay so high prices. So there could be chances that they might even incur losses wherein their short-run average total cost is way higher than what your average revenue, that is the price is. And look at this gap between A and B, that basically denotes the losses. Okay. Next is the long run equilibrium. In the long run, what happens is this, that long run is the time period wherein the monopolist adjusts his plant size, uses his existing plant in such a sense that yes, they want to basically read how the equilibrium is achieved. How the plant size is adjusted in the long run, I should work in a such sense that my profits are maximized. Okay, so this is how the long run average curve takes place. Now, what is price discrimination? Price discrimination, as I already told you, one simple way wherein you are charging different prices from different customers. So it cannot exist in the perfect competition. It exists only in the monopoly. Why in the perfect competition? What happens? What happens in the perfect competition? Absolutely identical product. You have no role in the perfect competition to determine the price. Who's determining the price? Who's the price maker in perfect competition? Firm or industry? Come on in the chat box. Firm or industry? Firm? Industry. Shri, how come you told firm? It's industry, dear, in perfect competition. So price discrimination, best example is that railways, they're charging different prices for different products. The best example is dynamic fare, wherein there are discriminating for Rajdhani tickets, etc. Okay. Now, when are you able to charge price discrimination? I'm able to charge price discrimination only when I have some kind of control over the product. I have some kind of control over the product, that how I should take place. Okay. How it should basically be done, that I have the power over the product. I have a control over product. Okay. Just read up till here. Just read up till here. Second is, you should have your sub-markets, how railways divided between senior citizen, between us, between students. Then the price elasticity should be different. Then it is not, should be possibility that if I sell the product in the market, it can be resold from the one segment to the another segment. That should not take place. Okay. If that is the situation, you have to understand how it goes. So this is how the condition of the price discrimination takes place. So you need to please understand how the monopoly behaves, Okay, how it works and so on and so forth. Okay. And you know the formula of MR and AR. So look at this numerical example. Suppose a single monopoly price is 30. Elasticity of demand are 2 and 1. So for market A, it's 2, market B is 5. You calculated MR is 15 year, MR is 24 year. What do you see? You see when the elasticities is different, then what happens is this, that even MR differs. And when MR is differing, then what will happen? The elasticity is going to change according to that. Okay, so this is how the price discrimination takes place. If the particular product, the single monopoly price is 30, but the market demand elasticity is going to change, then how this whole MR is going to come 15 for one and maybe 24 for the another one. So you need to understand that in a monopolist form of market, in a monopoly form of market, the price discrimination can easily take place. Okay. Now, what is the objective? Okay. So when I talk about objective is first to earn the maximum profit. When I say maximum profit, that means why do I discriminate the price? I know that, okay, purchasing power of Tanvi is higher. I will charge higher from her. If I see that the purchasing power of Ram is lower, then I will do other way. Okay. So whenever we talk about the concept that how the price discrimination takes place and how it is giving us what is the motive of price discrimination, the first motive is this: you want to earn maximum profit. Second is this: I have a lot of stock. I say to this segment, if I do lesser amount, I can dispose of my surplus stock. Third, I will have an economies of scale. When I say economies of scale means I have a bulk purchasing power. If I have a bulk purchasing power, it will become benefit for me. I can capture foreign markets. I can have a greater equity through pricing. How greater equity? Because see, I'm charging more to the richer and less to the poor segment. So I'm kind of doing good to the society. So this is how the price discrimination takes place. Okay. Is there any doubt up till here? See, I would like to give you 2 minutes to look all the topics up till here and ask me any doubt that you have. Please ask me right or now. Come on. Come on. Come on fast, please. Any doubt up till here? No doubt up till here? Okay, let me proceed further. Okay, perfect. Now, this is how the monopolies are charging the prices. See, in the sub-market A, you have this pricing scenario. In sub-market 2, this is the pricing scenario. When you talk about the aggregate demand curve, look at this. There's a kind of a kinked demand curve. When I say there's a different elasticity, why? Because here you are charging some different price from somebody else. So look at the elasticity here, and due to that, if you see the demand curve, the aggregate demand curve is going to be somewhere like this. Two different markets signifying the two different kind of area. So whenever we talk about the different kind of market scenario, this is how the whole consumers are benefited from. Now, what is the economic effects of monopoly? So first thing is this, that monopoly is criticized. Why? Because of their loss of productive and allocative efficiency. They say that you degrade the economic welfare. You charge higher a price. Why? Because obviously you are the only one in the market. You charge profits which is not justified. You are exceeding the marginal cost. Okay. Ideally, when it is when it is a monopoly, you are not taking care of the consumer surplus. Okay. You are basically restricting the consumer's opportunity, how you are creating barriers. Okay. All your resources are used for giving lower benefits to the supplier. So these are some things which monopoly is really not appreciated and not rather encouraged. Okay. Next is monopolistic. Monopolistic, the best example is the soap industry. Many sellers, different product with different features. Any firm can enter, any firm can exit. No price competition. No price competition means they advertise. They don't fight on the basis of prices. When we talk about the price determination in the short run, they earn supernormal profits. How? In that case, what happens is this, I'm looking at a business wherein the soap is produced and sold. And when I say that, okay, there's a lot of demand of a particular product, I will also start that product and I keep on, selling the product at a higher prices also maybe. But when what happens is this, in the long run, because there's a freedom of entry and exit, other people also see that, okay, soap business is doing really well. They enter into the market, they try to increase the supply, demand remaining the same, eventually the prices fall down. So in the long run, again, they will have a normal profit. But in the short run, with the maybe advertisement, the product differentiation they have, the features that they have, in the long run, they will always earn the normal profit. So they might have that they can have losses or they can have supernormal profit in the short run. But in the long run, because there's an entry and exit, so all the supernormal profit or the losses will wipe out. And the only existence is going to be the normal profit. Okay. Now, after this, there's a very good comparison that we have for the perfect monopoly and monopolistic. So this you can read it on your own because I have already taught this in the last class. I would like to cover oligopoly first. Okay, this you for sure read it. It will give you a clear, crystal clear picture that how it is going to be the perfect competition, the monopoly and monopolistic. Now the major question comes, what is an oligopoly? So the moment I start teaching oligopoly, I will say, keep in your mind the best example of telecom industry. So I have only 4 or 5 names in my mind for telecom. That's Airtel, that's Jio, that is maybe Idea, Docomo, etc. etc. Okay, so let's talk about only 2 players, Airtel and Jio. So whenever we talk about oligopoly is the market form wherein there is a competition only amongst the few. There are only few firms who compete with each other. Okay. So monopoly is basically wherein a single firm enjoys the whole market power. And there are few firms, sorry, in monopoly we have a single firm. In oligopoly we have a few firms which have the complete control over the market. Okay. Now here what they do is this, they basically compete on the basis of kind of a price war. So we have different kinds of oligopoly. One is the pure oligopoly, wherein in the pure oligopoly, the products is absolutely same, like aluminum industry. But in differentiated oligopoly, like for example, telecom, they have a few different projects. Open oligopoly, wherein you can come and enter the market. Closed oligopoly, the entry is little restricted. Collusive oligopoly, where you come under a common understanding. When we talk about the competitive oligopoly, wherein the understanding is basically nowhere and there's a competition. Partial or full oligopoly. In the partial oligopoly, basically, it is dominated by one firm and it's known as the leader. Okay. In the full oligopoly, there is an absence of price leadership. Next is syndicated and organized oligopoly. Syndicated oligopoly is the situation wherein the firm sells the product through a centralized syndicate. Wherein in the organized oligopoly, they basically have a situation of organizing themselves in a central association for fixing prices, output, quotas, etc. Now, when we talk about characteristics of oligopoly market, first is the strategic interdependence. They are interdependent to each other. There's just only few sellers, etc. Great importance of advertising and selling cost. They try to compete on the basis of advertising and selling cost. They behave either of two ways. One is the price leadership, wherein the person is leader and you follow it. And the other is group behavior. In the group behavior, what happens is this: everything is happening according to the group's behavior. Now, when we talk about the pricing, etc., please understand oligopoly is the market wherein there is a cartel which is formulated. Cartel is basically like a collusion. Sometimes the leader sets a price which is taken by all the followers. It generally takes place wherein all of them mutually they decide that, okay, whatever our leader do, they will do it. The other way how the oligopoly decides the prices is through the price war. Airtel says, I will showcase a package of 699. Jio would say 690. They will fight. They will again fight. Okay, 670, 675. And they keep on fighting. And at the end, they realize that, okay, in our fight, consumer is benefiting and all our resources are getting diminished. If all my resources are getting diminished, what will happen? Eventually, they realize, let's not have a price war. Let's have a price rigidity and we create stable prices. So therein the rule of the law of basically the cartel takes place and they create a price leadership, etc. And this is how the whole different firm is dealing with. Next, we have a king demand curve. In the king demand curve, what happens is this, that there is a lot of oligopolistic firm. They have a demand curve which is like this, a broken one. This is also known as the Sweezy model. Why? Because it was given by the economist Paul A. Sweezy. They say that if the demand curve is having a kink, because at this segment of DP, there's a difference elasticity. At this segment of PD, capital D, there's a different elasticity. So because of that, the demand curve is going to be a little different elastic. Okay, so this is how the whole analysis is going to take place. Besides that, we have a different market forms, that is duopoly, wherein two sellers, monopsony, single buyer, okay, oligopsony, small large number of large buyers, and basically this is primarily related to our factor markets. And the last one is the bilateral monopoly. Bilateral monopoly, whereas we have a monopoly and monopsony combination. So these are the different kind of market forms that we have. Okay, you can please make sure that you read the summary of perfect, monopoly, monopsony, oligopoly, etc. Okay, please, I would advise all the students to mute their mics. Okay, so that is it about this chapter. If there's any doubt, please feel free to ask me right now. Any doubt that you have? Yes? And you can always solve these questions, etc. at the end, which is going to be of great help to you, all of you. Okay, is there any other doubt that you have, people? Yes? Any doubt that you have? Okay, perfect. So in the next class, we will discuss about the business cycle. And I would also like all of you to go through this topic. And if there's any doubt with regard to that, you can ask me in the next class or you can put it in the query. Okay. Thank you and have a good day. Any doubt that you want to discuss, we can have a 5-minute open time for all of you. Yes? किसी को कोई और दिक्कत है पढ़ाई करने में, कोई और परेशानी आ रही है, प्लीज लेट अस नो. Okay, Ashok sir, I think there's no query as such. So thank you all of you. We can close the class. Thank you. Thank you.